So I've built a process to go through and create a photo strip generator out of pictures. And so what I ended up doing was, instead of using the one that I downloaded the other night, I built it from scratch, but using the stuff that I saw on the other one. Just a high level, it's going to pop up a box and put in the name of the folder you want it to create, and then it's going to create a folder with that name plus the timestamp. So like if you had John and Joe, it was going to have, timestamp on it, and if John and Joe do a second one, then it'll have a different timestamp. But once it's done that, then I'm going to just grab it from an input folder and move it into that working folder I've created. Try to crop the images down. I'm playing around with the ratio because I want to try to get them more square-like, so they look more like a film strip from a photo booth. And then I had to put in a pause here because found the cropping of the pictures was taking a little bit longer to save, and the rotation started before the cropping had finished and created some issues. So I just put a 3-second pause in there. But once the images are rotated to the left, throw it onto a contact sheet, and then go back and take those images and re-rotate them. All in all, it seemed to work pretty good. And what I'm doing for the pictures piece is I downloaded this Sofa Build app, and I got my cable in to plug the camera in, so capturing pictures directly from the Nikon into the MacBook, put them into a default folder, and run the Automator process on it, and then it builds everything for you. So just going through here, I've got 4 pictures in my input folder, and just got a couple of things that were round, so I was trying to make sure that when I changed the aspect ratio, it wasn't trying to actually just squash it down to a more narrow picture. I wanted it to actually trim off the sides, which I think it's doing. And then I'll throw everything over here into an output folder, and seems to be working. So coming over here, do a run, hit OK. So I'll enter my file name, steps through there. If it hits an error, then you get to see like debug and kind of the state it was when it crashed. So the Automator is actually pretty cool. And then you can go in and expand out. So like this whole crop images section, as soon as I get control back, if I come in here and now we're done, crop images, I can see the results of the output. So seems to be kind of cool. And if I come over to the output file, I've got my new folder. I've got to clean up the formatting. I want to name those a little bit better. I want to rename the pictures to the person's name, but then it throws everything that's in this folder onto this contact sheet, and I should be able to shoot this over to a printer, and there's your photo strip. Again, I want to play around with this aspect a little bit more just to try to square them up, but it seems to be working okay. Right now I'm doing 80% of the width. Probably need to drop it down to 75% and see if that does any better. Also need to be able to print this on a piece of paper to see if it's going to fit on like a 4x6 or a 5x7. So we'll be playing around with that. Other than that, not a bad little afternoon of an evening of throwing shit together.